Disclaimer. Please forgive me now if there are any mispronunciations in this video. Glamis Castle has been the home of the Lyon family since the 14th century. It stands tall in Angus, Scotland, and famous for being one of the scariest haunted castles. It is also the location of William Shakespeare's play Macbeth resides. Many had come to live and breathe there, and many had lost their lives. With a staggering number of ghosts, tourists can experience a wide range of activity, such as tiptoeing, screams, banging noises, sheets being ripped off of beds in the middle of the night, doors mysteriously open even though they are locked and bolted, and faces appearing and disappearing from windows or hovering over beds. So who are these ghosts? And where did they come from? What is their story? There are numerous ghosts that appear throughout the castle that don't exactly have a backstory of why they are there, but there are a few that are more famous that brings in the popularity of the hauntings. Here are the several that are seen without a lengthy tale to them. A butler who appears in the room in which he committed suicide, two armored figures that sword fight in a corridor, a young boy called Jack the Runner who races up to the castle, a tall figure dressed in a long cloak, a woman with sad eyes who clutches at the windows as if she's imprisoned, an armored knight who appears at night, a bent-over old woman who's carrying a heavy bundle, the ghost of a madman who walks along the roof on a stormy night along the path called the Mad Earl's Walk, and lastly but surely not least, the ghost of a black servant boy who was badly treated and killed by the Earl in the 18th century, haunts a stone seat by the door of the Queen's bedroom. These next tales are the more popular stories that are spoken. A woman with no tongue is said to run through Glamis parkland, pointing at her mutilated face in horror. Sometimes she is seen through a window of the castle. There are two tales told about her. One is that she got her tongue cut out by the guards for fooling around with the Earl, and second, she must have learned the dark secrets of Glamis Castle that they didn't want spilled out. There once was a woman named Janet Douglas. She was the wife of James Douglas, who died one morning after eating his breakfast. Janet was suspected in his killing, but since there was no evidence, she got away with it. 6 years later, on July 17, 1537, she was convicted of witchcraft and burned at the stake at Castle Hill, Edinburgh, in front of her young son, John. Her spirit now haunts the family chapel and clock tower, being recognized as the Grey Lady. She is seen wrapped in fire or an orange glow as she searches for her son, or runs up the stone staircase, leaving a trail of ash behind. And lastly, Alexander Lindsay, Earl of Crawford, or more famously known as Earl Beardy. He had a gambling obsession, and on a Sunday, which was Sabbath and a sin to do so, on such a day, no one wanted to play cards with him. Angered, he yelled, "I'll play with the devil himself if he was here." Immediately after, there was a knock on the door, and in comes the devil. The two play a game of cards while servants peer through the keyhole. They were met with sheets of fire that burst out, blinding one of the servants. The Earl died a few days later, and his apparition has been seen in one of the bedrooms during early hours in the morning, as well as believed to still be playing cards with the devil in the same room that has now been bricked up. Did you like this video? There will be a second Glamis Castle video up shortly, talking about monsters of the castle. If you're interested in getting early access, check out my Patreon page where I create more content on the topics such as cryptids, alien abductions, hauntings, serious killers, and much more. If you can't support me there, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe here. Hope you all have a good night.